Welcome back to the Becoming Number One podcast, where our goal and mission is to help you become the best version of yourself while we are on our own pursuit to become the best versions of ourselves.
Welcome back, buddy.
Welcome back, man. We're in our getting hated on era.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, as we've been posting more and more on YouTube, we've started to get some distasteful comments. But it's good.
It's kind
honestly,
of fun. I get a kick out of it.
It's given us some laughs and
Engagement.
Given the rebuttals, the responses that we've had, honestly, they've been taken kind of well.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, one guy we commented and he gave us a sub back. I hope you're watching this, by the way.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, and somebody altogether deleted their comment, so obviously they realized that what they said wasn't so nice.
Yeah.
Took it back.
I mean, that's part of the game. If you're on a mission to help millions of people, you're going to get people that are pissed off of what you say, and people can't handle the truth, and that's something that we're going to talk about today, and they can't come to face with it. So we got a great episode for you today.
Yeah. Touching back on that, it makes you think that there are people out there who will literally take time out of their day to go and leave harsh words on other people's posts.
Yeah.
Like, why? What is the point of doing that? I don't get it.
Yeah.
So if you're someone who does that, knock it out. There's zero point in doing that.
Yeah. Or keep commenting on our stuff. That helps a lot, actually. We appreciate it.
I guess we won't turn down the engagement.
Yeah, not going to turn it down. But anyways, guys, we got what I believe is a subject that we're going to talk about that's very on topic for our last couple episodes.
What is it?
And it's nobody owes you shit. No one's coming to save you. No one's going to help you. The government's not coming. Trump's not coming. Your parents, your boss, your family, friends, nobody's coming to save you. Everything in your life is strictly up to you to go out and to take.
Why do you think that's an important message for people to hear?
Yeah, because I think a lot of people right now, and really what this is, it ties into extreme ownership, what we talked about, I think, last week or the week before. But why it's so important is people are waiting for a magical day where this fairy is going to come down and their whole life's just going to change. And that is not how it works. You can attest to that. I can attest to that. Somebody is waiting, or people are waiting for somebody to come along or something to come along where it's going to completely change the trajectory of their life.
Yeah. I think an issue, and it's been like this for a while now. I mean, I noticed it while I was in college, and shit, even when we were in high school, is people feel entitled to things coming their way.
Yeah.
People think that just because they're a certain color or gender or whatever, or of a certain religion, whatever, that they're entitled to leniency. Yeah. They're entitled to benefits. They're entitled to people treating them a certain way. And that's not true.
Yeah.
Nobody's entitled to shit.
Yeah, and that's something that we're going to touch on today. But kind of going off of what you said, it has a lot to deal with how people were raised. When you had a parent in your household that gave you absolutely everything all the time, never said no. I mean, you're going to think that in your adult life that you're just going to get everything handed to you. And those are the exact people that are at the bottom of the barrel every single time. The people that grew up, that had everything handed to them, and they don't really amount to anything because they can't handle the pressure and the adversity of going and taking, conquering. So I agree with what you said.
No, I think it's a switch of mindset.
It is.
People who feel entitled are people who aren't willing to do what it takes to get the things that they want.
Yep.
Right? It's a give. It's a take, not a give.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think especially nowadays, we can all agree that we have gotten softer as a society, and we need a harsh reality awakening.
Yeah, absolutely. And really nobody owes you shit. This is really a mentality. It's a mentality that you need to carry because it's going to teach you things that we're going to cover that you can apply to your life. And if you're somewhere where you don't want to be, you're stuck, you can apply these principles that are going to push you and propel you forward to live a better life. So
I was going to save this for after, but I think this is something that I'm going to be thinking about the entire time that we talk about this, is we should be tackling life with the complete opposite mentality, which is we are actually entitled to give things. I think we are so damn lucky. One, to be born, but two, to be born in this country.
Yeah.
Out of the 7, maybe on track to hit 8 billion people on this planet, there's 350 or so million of us Americans.
Yeah.
That's a fraction.
Yeah. Greatest country in the world
So
by far.
we're lucky. We're lucky to be born in this time. We're lucky to be born to this country. We're lucky to be born to the bodies that we are. So if anything, we have the duty, we have the responsibility to actually give, not to be given to.
Yep. Completely agree. So here's some things that you need to do. Here's some lessons, some principles that really go off of that nobody owes you shit mentality. And the biggest one, the one we're going to start with, is personal responsibility. Aidan, for you, what does that mean?
Well, I think responsibility, as we talked about last week, is control.
Yes.
It's power over self. We talked about how extreme ownership is really taking extreme control back of your life. So if you want to feel more in control of your life, and most people, I've heard that so many times, I don't feel like I'm in control. I feel like things are just happening to me.
Yep.
There's a lack of responsibility with that.
Absolutely.
And maybe it's not everybody, but that's the majority. When you don't feel like you're in control of your life, it's because you're not taking responsibility and accountability for the things that are going on in it.
Yes. So really, it's accountability.
It's accountability.
Yes. And what I believe is accountability, personal responsibility. You said this, but it's really the only power you have as an individual. Go back to the early 1900s. People weren't sending DocuSigns or signing contracts all the time. What was the most important thing was somebody's word. Okay? Not only to themselves, but a handshake to another individual. That is how they did business back in the day. A handshake. It meant everything. Your word was supposed to mean everything. And it's the same thing today, but people overlook it. If we just take our word, if we say we're going to do something and then we go and do it, hey, you're going to be a lot farther ahead because now you have that personal responsibility and you know if something bad happens, but you tell yourself you're going to do something to get out of it, well, you have your word and you're going to do it no matter what.
That's it.
Yeah.
So what else?
No one's going to hold you accountable, right?
Well, nobody else aside from you. Yeah. And we've talked about accountability partners. We've talked about how important having somebody else to have your back, but have your back to make sure you keep your word is in this whole mission of personal development. But at the end of the day, there's nobody else who spends 24 hours a day with you aside from right up here.
No one sees what you're doing when no one's around. No one's there. It's only you and your conscience. That's it. It's you and that voice inside of your head that you can either feed to get it better or you can destroy it, which is only going to hurt you in the long run. Right? So absolutely personal responsibility, accountability. You guys have to implement that today. What's your word that you're making to yourself? Stick to it, do it over and over and over again. And eventually anything that you say you're going to do, no matter how small or how big, you'll end up doing it.
To me, it just gives meaning to life too. Yeah. I'm really big on finding meaning in things. Yeah. Because why do anything if there's no purpose?
Absolutely.
Then we're just kind of just like robots. We're just existing. And things have lost meaning over time. And our word, our bond is one of those things that has lost meaning. So most people aren't going to get on this train. But if you get on it and you bring more meaning to your actions, to your word, ultimately you're going to bring more meaning to your life. And doesn't everybody want that?
Yeah. The next one that's very important, very basic, but it's doing the fundamentals. I was on a coaching call with one of my mentors earlier this week, and he said this. A lot of you guys right now you're not doing the fundamentals to build the life that you want. You're not doing the fundamentals anymore. The things that got you, the basics of business, the basics of personal development, the basic of relationships. You're not doing them anymore. And that was the whole foundation and the building blocks to go where you wanted to go or what got you to where you're currently at. So I believe that's a huge one. When I heard that, it stuck with me. And that's something that I wanted to share with you guys as well. Obviously, we'll dive deeper into it.
I was going to say, let's dive deeper into that. Because for us, it's easy in a business sense, right? Fundamentals in our business means sticking to the sales script that we have. Yeah. That is the fundamentals. But in life, not everybody is in sales. Not everybody is in business. What do the fundamentals look like for living a quality life?
Yeah. Well, I think first we have to look at what success is. Everyone's going to define success differently. But success in itself, the act of it, to get to it is boring. Okay?
Can
It's
be.
boring. It is boring because what you have to do, I mean, it's not flashy. Okay? The work that goes in, the sweat, I mean, waking up early. I mean, hitting the gym, being the first one to show up, the last one to leave, not going to bed till 3 o'clock in the morning and waking up at 5. All these things are not sexy. Okay? So whatever that is in your area, I mean, if it's personal development, it's doing the basics. It's, hey, what's your word? Sticking to it. It's putting the valuable information in your mind day after day consistently, no matter what happens. It's signing up for the mentorship program. It's consuming the podcast every single day, and then it's taking action on all of those things. The basics, right? That we really get away from because there's this new trend that comes out, this new tool, and we get away from the very thing that got us to that point. And we start doing that thing, and then everything starts to burn down, and then we wonder why, because we don't have that foundation anymore.
I think a fundamental to living a quality life, and especially tying into the title of this episode, no one owes you shit, is leading with service, leading with giving instead of taking, right? Most people look to others and say, what can you give to me? As opposed to starting with, what can I give to you? I think that is a fundamental. If you live your life under that lens, how can I give to you before you give to me? You're going to live not only a successful life, but a fulfilling life. People are going to want to spend more time around you. People are going to want to give more to you. You're going to get more in return. I think there's just so much more fruit to bear living under that perspective than the reverse.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous because that's how most people live, which is, what can that guy give to me? What can I get from her? What can I get from the government?
Yeah. What separates the winners from the losers is the fundamentals. And going into, with the fundamentals, there's the work ethic, there's out strategizing, things of that nature. But I want to clarify the success is boring part, because when you reach, the success that you want, right? So for some people, it could be the cars, it could be the house, it could be the vacations, it could be the freedom. All those things are great. That's what you're striving for. But when I say success is boring, it's the act that goes into success. It's you getting your balls kicked in every single day. It's you losing thousands of dollars every month. It's you having to stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning. It's all the nitty gritty stuff that's very hard that has to get you there. Like I'm saying, it's not flashy. It's hard work. You're in the mud. You're grinding every single day. When someone else on the outside looks in, they're like, oh, damn, okay, well, I didn't know it looked like that. I thought I could just do X, Y, and Z and get this.
That's why on social media you don't see the path, you just see the end of it.
The end result, exactly.
Yeah.
Which the whole reason why we literally started this podcast is so you guys stop buying $9.97 courses of the people that only post the flashy shit, which they've only built their business on selling you the idea of them having the flashy shit, and then the actual business that they're trying to teach you, they never actually built. Right? So, and that's why we're here talking about this today. And success is boring. That is the truth. It is hard work. It sucks. It's going to take a very long time, way longer than you think. You're going to get your balls kicked and your teeth kicked in. It's going to be very hard. But you have to keep in mind all those hard things that you're doing, if you do them day after day consistently, and you have the mentality, nobody owes you shit, so I have to do these things, it's going to pay off eventually.
And what does it do? I keep coming back to this. It brings meaning. You don't get meaning and satisfaction from things being handed to you. You get meaning and satisfaction from earning something. And you don't earn it without putting in the work.
Absolutely.
And the work, as you've just fucking elaborated, is boring.
Very boring.
So if you want to be successful, be ready for the boring, be ready for the suck. But just know that with that, you're going to be so much, by the end of it, you're going to be so thankful that you went through it, because that's where you're going to derive the meaning and actual success from it.
Absolutely. And you have to keep in mind, too, it's the little things, right?
Yeah.
It is the little things. And those little things, if you can't handle those, you'll never be able to handle the bigger things, right? If you say you want to make $1 million, but you can't track your spending, it doesn't add up. If you want to build an empire and you can't maintain your structure or your schedule, it doesn't add up. So do the little things. Do them consistently, and they will compound to bigger things.
That's kind of it, huh?
I mean, could be.
Well,
We'd cover a couple other things.
I want to come back to this because I've been thinking about this. I told David about a podcast I was listening to this morning. Been listening to a lot of episodes of the Sean Ryan Show, and he brings on a lot of ex-special operators. And these guys have been to some of the roughest places on the planet, doing some of the most badass, but also grueling work possible. Mm-hmm. And they've seen shit that puts into perspective how lucky we are. It's insane. I mean, kids who grow up without food and water, without shelter, whose parents were, murdered. I mean, to be blunt about it, they live in the definition of chaos and destruction. And that's not what we live in. Not everybody has as nice of a view as we do right now. I'm looking out at a beautiful sunset over the water.
With mountains in the back.
With mountains in the back. But we live in a country where for most of us, I mean, you got food, you got water, you got shelter. And there's some exceptions out there, but it's not the same shit that billions of people on this planet are going through.
Yeah.
So we're lucky. And whether you're religious or not, you do have a duty, if you were graced with the ability to have a life here, to do something meaningful with
Absolutely.
it. That's the way I was raised, was to give back to community. Some people choose just to give back to a small handful. Some people choose to give back to millions. Whatever it is, I think that you do have a duty to give back. Find your way to do it. Yeah. It doesn't have to be going and serving at the soup kitchen every weekend, but find a way. It could be through your vocation, your work. It could be outside of work, whatever it is. Find a way to give back. All the richest people in the world, you realize that they've gotten rich by serving people, either through their services,
that's
their
exactly
product,
how they got rich.
Whatever.
They brought value to the marketplace, which ultimately helped other people.
Exactly. They brought value to others.
Yeah.
That is how you live a successful life. You bring value to others.
Yeah. I want to leave them with one more subject on this, because this is very important, and it's killing the comfort that you have in your life, because comfort essentially is the enemy. It is going to breed laziness. It's going to breed weakness. You're going to be mediocre with comfort, and if you want to be elite, you want to dominate, you want to be unstoppable, you have to kill it. It's a cancer in your life, comfort, and we've talked about this so many times, but I feel like this is where a lot of people get stuck. And they're not able to move to the next level in their life with taking action, because it's the comfort that stops them of where they're currently at. They don't have it bad enough yet, but they don't know that in 10, 15 years, they're going to look back and their life's going to be a mess because they didn't do the things necessary back then to get to where they want to go. But I will say this, and I can vouch for Aidan and myself on this. We every day put ourselves through difficult things to train our mind, so when that comfort comes in at times that matter the most, we can kill it and it can be gone, so we can do the productive thing that we need to do to be able to win or to be able to push the needle forward. So I want you to ask yourself, where in your life right now are you seeking the most comfort, and where is that coming in and killing your dreams? Because everybody has it some way, shape, or form. It could be watching TV, it could be doom scrolling, it could be, going out to the bars or hanging out with friends for way too long, smoking weed. But everybody has that one thing that's really holding you back right now. And if you could just let that go, or even reduce it, and you fill that with productive action, your life's going to get a whole lot better, and you're going to see a lot more results.
And don't get us wrong, comfort isn't bad. Like sitting back after you've put in work and having a moment of relaxation, that's not bad. But you said something vital. Where are you seeking comfort? The only reason why you'd be seeking comfort is because you're pushing towards uncomfortability and you're scared.
Yeah.
And uncomfortableness, difficult times, that is where you grow. We've talked about it time and time
Absolutely.
again. Muscles don't grow without tearing. Knives don't sharpen. I heard this quote. If you could give emotions to knives, when you sharpen a knife, it would be screaming its ass off. It wouldn't be comfortable. It'd be in grueling pain. But that's how it gets sharper. That's how it gets more powerful, more efficient.
Absolutely. If it's easy, you're not growing.
Exactly. If it's easy, you're not growing. We grow in the difficult times. So seek out the difficult times. And if you're not seeking it out, if you're seeking the opposite, which is comfort, that is a target for a point that you can work on.
Yep. Weakness is glorified in society today. The weakness is being glorified in society. I mean, literally, if you want to be elite, if you want to dominate, if you want to go to the next level, truly, you have to start seeking struggle, stress, pain, discomfort. All those things you have to start seeking. Because ultimately, that's going to tear, it's going to break down, and it's going to allow you to grow. All those things.
Plus, why the fuck not? Most of us aren't endowed with trust funds, and most of us can't literally just go through life not actually doing anything. We have to earn our seat at the table.
Yes.
And that means becoming a productive and valuable member of society. Yep. And the only way we're going to do that is by pushing ourselves, getting uncomfortable, getting in difficult situations that allow us to adapt and grow as people. That's the only way that we're going to become more valuable as a person, more valuable to society. So seek that out. Earn your spot at the table. And then once you've done that, once you've put in your effort, you've put in your time, you've put in your value, then you can reap the benefits.
Absolutely. Discomfort is the price of success. Every successful person will tell you that. They had to sacrifice something. They had to give something up. It was very uncomfortable, but it was the price that they had to pay to go where they want. And I want to leave you with this. I hope you guys took a lot out of this episode. I believe this was one of our best episodes yet that we've yet to have.
Ooh.
Winners hear the truth and they use it. So if this pissed you off some way, shape, or form, it rubbed you the wrong way, good. It means you needed to hear it. And on the flip side of the winners, there's losers. And losers hear the truth and they get offended. And they don't do anything besides bitch and complain.
There you go.